Hey guys, little technique video here, just discussing the subject of rinsing. I think it's going to especially be of help to totally new guys to our wet shaving hobby and this style of shaving. Also, if you got even for you guys who have done it for a while, we'll get into some details a little bit later on about using your rinse for diagnostic purposes, that sort of thing. But it potentially is aimed at folks who are kind of new to the hobby and uh, and so we'll go on ahead. So the main focus is the main idea to consider is play around with it and do what you want. Um, if you don't rinse at all, there are guys out there who don't rinse at all, and there's guys in our history, plenty of guys out there in decades past that didn't have the luxury of a basin of water or let alone a sink with a faucet. And they didn't rinse, and they maybe used a towel to even do the final getting rid of all the lather, and even when you do have those nice amenities, you may choose not to rinse. Now, pretty much everybody's going to use some water at the very end to clear away everything, but specifically in between passes is kind of what I'm addressing now. So you can choose no rinsing. You can choose excessive rinsing, where you, in between each pass, you just clean your whole face. You get rid of the feeling of the slickness there. If it makes you happy, go for it. That's kind of how I started. And then I realized that I don't really need that excess. And so I backed off to what I called half rinsing, which just meant, a few things of water between each pass, not really focusing on getting rid of all the soap residue on my face. And lately, I have decided that, as long as I'm using that splashing as a way to kind of clear away stubble. I'm using it to rehydrate my skin to help to keep the next pass as well hydrated as the first one. Um, I discovered just a little splash was really all I needed, and even leaving a little bit of soap on my face, a layer of it, um, due to the a quicker type splashing, then that helped out my next lather pass, right? Because you're leaving some extra product on there. So there's that. And so I've definitely backed off a little bit over the years. But if maybe in the future I decide to do full rinse, it just doesn't matter too much. So you suit yourself. But we'll talk about a few of the attributes and reasons behind it in this video and help you make an informed decision. Um, the Something that surprised me here in the last several months was that I get a lot of enjoyment, tactile enjoyment, when I bend down and get that water up in my face and I feel my face with the lather remnants on there after a pass. And that I just really, with a good lather, a good slick lather, that just really feels good. And that's part of the shave for me. I really enjoy that. So I don't think I'll ever be a non-rinse kind of guy. And so there's that enjoyment aspect that I discovered that I liked about the whole rinsing process. And you don't have to rinse fully to get that. Um, I don't want to forget this aspect. This is actually the second time I've recorded this video. I walked down the hall and realized, wait a minute, you left out something really important. So I'm going to mention it now. Healing your skin with cool water. If I have used a brush that has kind of roughed up my skin a little bit where I might have a little tenderness, if I have used a razor that's quite aggressive, or a blade that's being a little aggressive for me, and my skin could really use some help, it's feeling maybe a little irritated, then a cool water rinse is fantastic. As we know, cooling tends to reduce inflammation, and so cooling of temperatures just in general across the breadth of chemistry and physics, And so that applies to shaving as well. If your skin puffs up because it gets irritated, then a cool water rinse can then soothe and reduce that puffiness. And that's a big reason to do a rinse if you fall into that category and occasionally experience that kind of sensation. The main thing that comes into my mind when I'm rinsing, that's when it's not just for the kind of the feeling of it, is the diagnostic purposes of rinsing. And you feel your stubble during the process of the rinse. And of course, this happens in a matter of seconds, but your brain it evaluates all this stuff, or it can if you look out for it. You're evaluating the length of your stubble, areas where, boy, we're smooth right here, but oh, there's a patch right here, that sort of thing. That can happen during your rinsing. Also, just the general efficiency of the blade for that particular pass. Well, here we are, the first pass, and wow, I am really surprised at how much of the hair is gone. This blade and razor combo must be excellent, because wow, I'm just not feeling very much hair, and it's just been the first pass. So there's the diagnostic purposes there. Or the opposite, here, oh man, I feel a lot of stubble. I don't even feel like I've cut anything. Well, that tells you something about your situation, and likewise. And diagnostic wise, it can tell you about your lather consistency. If you take a splash of water on your face and all of a sudden everything's gone and you don't feel any slickness anymore, well, it could be that's not a great soap, or one that's kind of old school, that is designed to kind of rinse away quickly. Doesn't have too many butters or anything like that, butters or oils or such. Or it could be that your lather was overhydrated that time, and that could tell you, that rinsing, that could tell you, hey, back off on the hydration next time. It could also tell you to blot that extra water from your face, so that when you put on your next pass of lather, that hydration gets absorbed just a little bit, and so it thickens up your lather just a hair. Little custom tweaking you can make by the amount of water you leave on your face between passes. Also, you could experience that, what might tell you that your lather's perfect. It takes you a little bit, you feel that nice slick sensation, and then most of it's gone, and you're good, you're ready, warmed up for your next pass, right? You could also then feel, you throw some water on your face, and it feels like you're actually working with a lather again. There was maybe some concentrate on your face. You didn't really push your lather that far with hydration, or maybe you're new at adding lots of water to a soap, and then you realize, wow, when I splash the water on it between passes, I feel like I could just stop and shave that again, because there's so much slickness there and some viscosity too, that I really feel like I've woken up the soap that was on my face and converted it into a lather. And so that tells you that if you wanted to, I'm not saying it's good, bad, right, or wrong, but if you wanted to push more water into that type of lather, you could, because it can take it. So there you go. So for diagnostic purposes, diagnosing your lather, diagnosing your stubble length, your patchiness of the stubble, that sort of thing. You're also, a lather can be diagnostic, especially the cool ones, because sometimes, because they can be an astringent. They can also, if you have a little nick somewhere, sometimes you'll get a slight sting with just cool water, and that'll tell you, hey, I've nicked myself right there. I'll have to be careful of that area in the future, that sort of thing. So diagnostic purposes as well. And I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to say. Instead of typing this all out, I thought responding to my friend's question in a video form would be helpful for him. And then by putting it into kind of my techniques section, my playlist there on YouTube, it might benefit some other guys out there as well. And so that's what we're all about. So in answer to the question of, am I missing anything by not rinsing? I generally say no. As long as you're walking away from your shaves happy, you're not missing anything. However, if you get to the end of your shave and your skin feels a little dry and you have to maybe rely on a balm or some kind of lotion to kind of nourish yourself back again, give rinsing a try if you're not rinsing. Perhaps that extra hydration between passes is just what your skin needs to kind of feel a little bit more refreshed and hydrated by the end of the shave. Also, rinsing can help you if you're wanting to use a soap that might be a little bit on the aggressive side, chemically speaking, for your face. Maybe it's got something that you might be mildly allergic to or just sensitive to. If it's got a high concentration of, cinnamon or, some type of oil, essential oil or fragrance oil that could potentially be a little irritative for you, if that's a real word, I don't know. Um, and so by rinsing, you're helping to clear that away and not let that accumulate during the shave. And so you may be able to then use a soap that might normally cause you problems. If you do rinse and just it helps you to kind of dilute is the word I was looking for, to dilute that concentration of that particular ingredient down, cleared away from your skin more easily. And then you're able to enjoy the soap that you want to enjoy. So those are just a few reasons for rinsing or not rinsing. In general, again, just make yourself happy. Try it all the ways. Try it heavy rinsing, no rinsing, and see what you like best and do that. There we go. No right or wrong in many cases with shaving questions, and this is no different. Just you do you. All right now. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope it's been helpful. You guys take care and have a good night.